This part work has been supplied to me free of charge from Fanhome.com. Please pop along to their website and see all of the other build-up part works that they have to offer, as well as other collections of collectible things. I would like to thank Fanhome for providing me with the part work so I can produce these videos for your enjoyment and educational needs. If you'd like to build one of your own, pop along to fanhome.com. They're available in many countries worldwide. If you do want to build one, leave a note in the comments to let me know how you're getting on, and let me know how I'm getting on as well. I'd like feedback of all types. So thank you once more to Fanhome for providing me with this kit. I hope you enjoy the build. Let's get on with it. Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models. Welcome to issue 31 of Building Your Own R2-D2 from Star Wars and Fanhome and Marvel and Disney and everybody else involved. This is issue 31, as I said. We're coming up on a third of the way through the droid. It's going to look like that. It doesn't look anything like that at the moment, but we'll get there very, very shortly. Before we get to the build, we'll have a look through the magazine, as I always do. Models and backgrounds in Building the Galaxy. ILM, obviously, Industrial Light and Magic, created for Star Wars. Basically, yeah, it would never be the same again. The world of visual effects changed forever. Yes, miniature work as well as CG work and blue screens and everything else. It just all came together and was something that we'd never seen before. Obviously, in cartoon animation, a lot more things can be done, a lot more cost effective than trying to do it in the real world, but not quite the same, is it? But yes, all good. Mr. Bones, the B1 variant, yeah. A lot about the battle fight and drop fighter droids and things like that. Then the real world, understanding robotics, robotic surgery, robots doing things in the real world. Who would have thought it? Different types of hands for doing things, obviously grabbing, cutting, twisting. All cool. Fine detail movement that wouldn't be possible for people. They can do it very easily. Not quite back to tank and the 2-1B droids, FX7 and 2-1B. Yeah, cool. Yes, the right foot components. This is the first thing that we're going to be doing. Well, the only thing we're going to be doing this week. We're fitting the outer casing to the right foot, the foot that we've been doing, the leg that we've been doing. We're going to be putting the outer casing on the iconic, like the mouse droid. It's basically a mouse droid attached to the inside of his foot, and nothing on the back cover. So at the end of the magazine, we're looking at the assembling the right foot. I shall, as ever, put the picture-in-picture up for your following along pleasure. That is the parts that we have today. It just said to find some screws, so I found some screws of the correct dimensions. 2.3 by 6mm self-tapping screws, 6 of those required. We've got the 2 parts of the outer foot, or the outer and inner foot. It goes together like that, and it's already iconic. Imagine that, twice the size. We also need, from over here, from previously, the leg that we've been doing. Basically, we're putting the foot on the outside of it. It's pretty easy. This is where the power couplings join on as well. So let's have a look. Which part are we putting on? The part without the hole on it goes on this side, on the outside of the leg. It just sort of slits on, fits in place like that. Does it? It doesn't. It doesn't quite fit. Like, why? What? Have I done something hideously wrong here? I've done something hideously wrong somewhere, because that does not line up the same as it does in there. This should be lining up with that, not that. Something isn't right here. I shall have to go back to the drawing board and figure out exactly what's what, because that is not going to fit on there. It sticks out the back there. Right, bear with me a moment. I shall pause the video. I shall figure out exactly what I've done wrong in a previous episode and come back and see you very, very soon. Right, let's try that again. I did have all this apart and reassembled, and now I've had to take it apart again because the video didn't work. But I do want to show you the error that I made. It was this bit. Basically, I attached it from the wrong side. I did have to take all this apart again, but I'm not taking that apart another time just to show you. Basically, I attached this from this side rather than from this side as it should be, and it just lines up differently because it obviously that's now going to be set down here, and it all fits together and well, except for when you get to this cover piece that obviously now everything lines up in and it fits as it should. It didn't fit before. So yeah, I shall get this all back together again and get back to the beginning of where we should be starting this build video. But yeah, way back in issue 21, when we installed this bit, I installed it from the wrong side of the plate. My mistake, I put my hands up to it. But yeah, if you've been following my build series very, very closely, go back to 21, make sure that you've got that way round. The longer side here should be basically on the outside of the curve, not the inside of the curve. Check that you got that right before you get to this stage, because otherwise you'll be stuffed and you won't know where to look, but now you will, so look there. I'll get this magically back together again, and then we'll start the actual build for this week. Okay, and welcome to the start of this week's build. Yeah, that's where we are. We're putting this piece on there, which just fits over very, very easily without any trouble at all. It goes over just like that. Lines up through those 4 holes, locates in place over there, fits in place, everything lines up, and it just looks lovely. I don't know why anyone would ever have any trouble with that in the slightest. That is held in place initially with these 2 screws. Just going through there. Get those tightened down. And then we can move across and put the other side of the plate in place, because that lines up nicely as well. Before we do that, that slips in there. That's where the metal power converter things are going to fit. This cable will be attaching down here at some point, so that needs to come through. The rest of it needs to go across the top, and everything lines up just like that. We've got 4 more screws that we had to get sorted out, and they are going to go into the 4 screw holes here and hold the 2 sides together, and that will be the end of this week's build. A lot longer than I intended it to be and expected it to be. Thankfully, I have trimmed and cut it back for you, so you haven't got to worry about me taking it apart twice because of technical errors, once because of my own errors. So yeah, so those 4 screws in, and now tightening up, going into plastic, so they don't need to be silly tight, but they just need to be holding the plates together. All of these screw holes, I believe, will be covered with little plugs in the future, but I would advise not put them in until you know that everything's working and fine, because you're not going to be able to get them back out again very easily. So, cable there, leg all assembled, other cables to go into the body shell soon, but for now, that is that. I always think that this should be the front of the leg, but obviously it isn't, because the leg goes behind him, because the body comes forward. So this is the front with the power coupling bits on there, and that is that. Thank you very much for joining me on this much longer than expected video. I shall see you very shortly for hopefully an easier and shorter one next time. So thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.